Cool. I'll do another clap too.
Okay.
Hey! Hi, I'm Brady.
I'm Jasmin.
And this is Escape, Reset, Reload.
Yay!
Yeah, we're back with episode 4.
Damn. How are you, Brady? I haven't seen you in a while.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little tired, but I'm good. I feel optimistic. I feel like we're getting closer to opening our escape room locations again.
I do too. The national unemployment rate has dropped like more than half. So places are reopening with vaccines coming out. So hopefully, even though LA became a mid-pandemic hotspot, because we did not handle things well at the beginning, hopefully we'll be able to get reopening soon, which means escape rooms can reopen.
Yay! We really, really hope so.
Yeah. But like I was saying earlier, when you guys weren't here, I was in Las Vegas for 4 or 5 days, about a week and a half ago. Not for fun.
Yeah, that's right. You told us you were going to Vegas.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, because you guys were looking at wedding venues.
We are. We're looking at wedding venues, which is great news for us getting married. But while we were there, relevant to this topic, we went and played a couple of escape rooms.
Woo!
Yeah, we made sure we did our research to make sure that everywhere we went took really good precautions, stayed nice and clean, had good cleaning times in between, room limits, things like that. So we were playing everything very safe. And other than the escape rooms and wedding venues, we just sat in our hotel room. So it was the wildest Vegas trip you can imagine. But I bring that up because our topic today is Immersion.
Woo! Yeah.
Specifically, the role that a game master plays in making a room immersive.
Yes, so we will probably talk about, I feel like my mic is being weird. We'll probably talk about immersion many other times. Mm-hmm. But today, specifically, we are talking about it from the point of view of game masters, since we are both game masters.
Exactly.
And big part of our job is to make the experience immersive for the players.
Right.
So, yes. So you wanted to start, I guess, with talking about your experience in Las Vegas.
Yes, Las
with
Vegas.
The game masters and the games there and the immersiveness of that.
Yeah. So in Las Vegas, I guess since these technically would count as reviews.
Kind of. No, non-spoilery reviews.
Non-spoiler reviews. I'll say the names of the places. And
dare we?
I dare. But so the first place we went to play the Scooby Doo room at ESCAPOLOGY.
Ooh.
Big Scooby Doo fans, me and Risa both. It was so much fun. It was such a good room. Just from a general, the puzzles were really good. I've learned ESCAPOLOGY is a big chain.
Yes,
They're
I've seen
everywhere.
On social media a lot.
They have them in Florida, right? So everywhere. But because they're a big chain.
Hey, no disrespect to Florida, but
I grew up close enough. Tons of disrespect to most of Florida. But while we were there, we played ESCAPOLOGY. They're a big chain, so their rooms have less of a personal touch to them, because they're meant to be mass-produced. Mm-hmm. But their puzzles are good. Like, if you want to go to a room and play puzzles, go to ESCAPOLOGY, right? Their puzzles are just really good. The Scooby Doo one was super immersive because they had pre-recorded bits from voice actors. So it seemed like interactive. So it was very immersive from that point of view. But for ESCAPOLOGY, their hint system is all on a screen and typed out from the game masters.
Oh.
So it doesn't rip you away from the immersion. Like I always say if you have a 16-year-old come over the microphone and say like, hey guys, check under the table, that ruins it, right?
Yeah.
So it didn't pull you out as hard as that would, but it did not immerse you the way that the other room I played did. We played 2 rooms with trapped escape, trapped with an exclamation point. I love them. They have rooms in not Los Angeles, but I don't know.
Wait, the company is called
Trapped.
Trapped.
With an exclamation point. They have rooms in Southern California. I think it might be Long Beach or San Diego. I haven't looked it up. Don't hold me to it. They do have rooms in Vegas. I know that for a fact. And I played 2 of their rooms. And while the puzzles...
What were they called and what were the themes?
So the first room was called something wild. I don't know what it was called. It was called like Project X135 or something like that. It was a weird sort of spy game. It was fantastic. So as soon as we signed all the waivers and we were ready to play, this guy, the game master who was checking us in, leaves. And then from then on out, every person we interacted with until like we left the building was in character. And we were spies and we were doing cool spy stuff. And there was actually a couple of times where they did so well with like the characters and the immersion. I don't know if something messed up in the room or if they were like supposed to do stuff, but you would interact with these people. They were just so good. Like I felt like I was talking to Wendy from HR and I felt like I was talking to this like spy boss who was giving me my mission the whole time. It was so good. And it was just the game master's commitment to the characters they were playing.
Yeah.
So like you had a little headset and you got your clues by like radio into your spy gun.
So that works.
Yeah. And he would come in and he was like, I'm in the lookout. What do you want? They're walking around here. It was just super. I felt like I was a spy. Bad spy. I was terrible. But I was a spy nonetheless. And then their other room was called One-Eyed Jack. And it was their creepier room, right?
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was necessary horror, but it had some creepy moments, right? You definitely you interacted with the game master in that one. She was a ghost, a spirit of one of a former victim who would like, if you were like, we don't know what to do with this, she'd come over in her spooky ghost voice. It was so fun. And their puzzles were phenomenal as well. Of all the games I have ever played, I would say Trapped games are the closest I've ever gotten to that original thrill from the first time I played here.
Yeah.
Because it was just, I could tell the game masters were having as much fun as I was. I could tell how much thought was put into the puzzles. And it was just a great time.
Shout out to
Trapped. Yeah. After we played, I met the owner. I talked to him a little bit.
Oh, yes. I was going to say, today we do not have any escape room news, but we have escape room gossip.
We have escape room gossip?
That's the gossip.
Oh, what I'm going to say?
It's not really gossip, I guess.
Oh, me gossiping about their rooms.
Yes, or
that
just talking
gossip.
to the owner, which is like,
everything
like
we say is escape room gossip.
Escape room gossip.
Missed opportunity for a podcast name.
Escape room gossip.
Escape room gossip.
Well, we're not changing it now. But yeah, tell us your gossip from talking to this owner.
Well, it wasn't really, it's no hot goss, I'll tell you that. But I met the guy, I cannot remember his name. He's really cool, sick beard, rock and roll. But yeah, he came in and talked to us afterwards. I told him I was a game master. I worked for Quest Room and everything. We did really well in the room. Like we didn't crush it, but like we, got through with like 1 or 2 hints, had a great time. Mm-hmm. And he came in and talked to us afterwards. He explained all the puzzles. He was excited that we were excited.
Yeah.
And we were excited that he was excited.
Of course.
And then our game master was just this small girl running around, also excited. I say small. She was a grown woman. She was just less tall than I was. So, but yeah, so
I'm totally gonna tag this escape room company, and they'll like hopefully listen to you talking like sick beard.
Exactly, sick beard, dude. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I have to say, the puzzles from Escapology were good puzzles. They were thought out. For the most part, it was very intuitive. Scooby Doo. I played 2 rooms. Did not like the second room I played with them.
Wait, what was the second one?
It was called 7 Deadly Sins.
Okay,
It wasn't awful. The puzzles were challenging. It was a harder room, so I already knew going in it wasn't going to be as like fly through, yeah.
Yeah.
But I love a good story in a room, and while their puzzles were killing it, the story was like a 2-minute video you watched at the beginning, and then the puzzles related to that story to an extent.
Okay.
And so it was like, oh, okay. It got a little like left field, right field. Like there was like hieroglyphics, and then there was like Jewish symbols, Hebrew symbols. I don't think it's Hebrew symbols.
I don't know if
Right?
yeah.
I don't know what it's called. But it was just a little all over the place. The puzzles were great. I have a big problem with anything that is not super intuitive in a room. And there were just 2 puzzles in that room that I personally felt there were a couple like leaps of logic that you had to make to get where you needed to go.
Yeah.
Right? Like you had to just assume some things that I don't think you would inherently think are related.
Yeah.
Which is it's a whole thing. That's
Yeah.
my favorite thing Kelly ever told me about escape rooms. She ever tell you the knock thing?
No.
So the idea is that there's a leap of logic that when you are creating a puzzle, you automatically, you think like, oh, this is easy. But when someone doesn't have all the background information going in, then it's not as easy. So it's like if I clapped the rhythm to a song, you may not know what it was. But if I said, hey, it's Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and then I clap the same rhythm, you're going to know exactly, you're going to hear it.
Oh.
Yeah. And
That's
so
that's a good.
And so there were just a couple of times in that room specifically where you had to make that big leap that there's no way to deduce it. You just had to get there, which disappointed me a little bit. And then the fact that once the story at the beginning's over, you're really just solving a bunch of puzzles and there's no continuation of that story. There is. It's just not rooted the way that the story was rooted in Escapology, and Trapped.
And also, can we go back to Trapped a little bit? I want to know what you talked about with the owner. That's the gossip. Like, I want to hear what you guys talk about. Did you talk about the industry? Did you talk about what it's been like for COVID? Did you talk about our company? So
we talked about the other rooms I had played, which is how I found out that Escapology is a big mass-produced sort of chain. And so I had all these like feelings about the Escapology rooms I did. And when I talked to him, he was like, yeah, they're a big chain. They have great puzzles. But because it's a big chain, it's much more like factory produced. So you don't get the nitty gritty, the handmade, the passion to it kind of idea. So he helped me like realize what it was about Escapology. And then we just talked about the fact that Vegas has been open for a while. Escape rooms have such a bad reputation right now for not being clean.
Oh, yeah.
Because I get like we handle a lot of stuff, but because we're so high risk, we are like if you limit the people in a room, you have private rooms, and you allow cleanup time, it's a really safe thing. You're not in a room breathing on anyone.
I'd say it's safer than a lot of businesses that are open right
Oh,
now.
yeah. We just reopened dining in Los Angeles, outdoor dining.
Which means we're gonna open soon, like for sure.
You'd think.
We're gonna open soon.
Yeah.
We must.
But yeah, so we talked about that. He knew Ivan. He knew Quest Room. He gave me a punch card, which was fun. That's
Like
not
a
gossip. I'm
loyalty
just
card?
excited. Do what?
Like a loyalty card? Like
Yeah, a
when you...
loyalty card that I can use at the Trapped Escape Room in Vegas or in Southern California.
And so like when you play a certain amount of games, you get one free?
Yeah, I think it's like 8 games and you get one free.
Damn.
Maybe 10 games. I don't know. But their games seem really good. My next game I'm playing with them is the Layer of the Puzzle Master. Gives me Da Vinci vibes.
Cool.
It's very straightforward. Like, you're locked in a room to solve puzzles. So you can't be pulled out of the immersion because the immersion is the room.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, nothing too juicy. We talked about his room, like that we'd just done a lot.
Yeah.
And there was actually, in the room, we skipped a puzzle. And we talked about that a little bit, like what it's like to skip a puzzle in a room. Mm-hmm. And it's a 50-50 for me. I've skipped puzzles in rooms before where I'm like, why was that puzzle built so bad that I skipped it? And I'm mad, right? I don't say that because I'm a nice person, but I think it. But in this room,
players.
but in this room, we skipped a piece, but when I skipped it, it was like, look at me. I knew what to do. You know what I mean? I didn't have to solve that puzzle to figure out what came next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was like one of those, the puzzle that we skipped, when we solved the puzzle, it tells us what to do with this item we found.
Yeah.
But when we found the item, we were immediately like, we know what to do with these.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the game master in me who can see, like, there's magnets over here. Or because there was like a symbolism to it. So it might have just been the symbolism of realizing what to do with the pieces. But we talked about that for a while.
Yeah.
And about like skipping puzzles and things like that.
Internal game master stuff. What do you think made you said that, you know, he was excited and the other game master was excited and there was like passion. Like what do you think made them different than the other company? Like why were the game masters and why was the atmosphere more immersive and passionate and fun?
I think it's because it was personal. So these game masters, when we did the first room, this doesn't spoil anything because it's not even before you go in the room. When you get your like rundown of you're about to go into the room, he puts on these sunglasses and this vest, and he's dressed like a spy. And he's like, "Welcome, new recruits." And he has this whole spiel.
Yeah.
It's very perfumer kind of intro. Like they are invested in this game, and I can tell that they the whole time are watching us, and they are either making fun of us or rooting for us.
Yeah.
Right? Either way, they're involved in it.
Yeah.
So when we get out of the room, they're excited for us. Versus the other place, it's like, oh, you made it out. We have 30 rooms going right now. 7 people sitting on computers clicking things.
Wow, was it that big?
Not that big. But it was very like, you could tell your host was not your operator. I've
been to rooms where I just remember being like, they don't give it. Like, they don't not, like, it doesn't have to be the same. Like, here, too, sometimes we have a host and an operator separately, but then they're in communication. Mm-hmm. And then, like, the host will be like, is there anything I should know about? Or, you know, like, something cool that happened? Or if the host wasn't able to be there to watch or help out. And then there's always that, you know, so that they can sort of have a connection with the players, like, oh my god, the game master told me that blah blah blah.
Exactly.
And we're just like, I don't know, I feel like we really try to make everyone feel special, like you know.
And you can tell when the person who's hosting you out comes up and they only know what your time was.
Yeah.
They have no idea what else happened.
And they're just like, oh great, congratulations. Mm-hmm. There's just like no real enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But see, my thing about the other thing that you said, you were talking about, my sound is going on. You were talking about how he would put on like glasses and a coat and stuff and be like in character. Mm-hmm. sometimes I've experienced that, and it's not like an actor or performer. And because I'm like, I don't know, like a lot of people love it, like love that stuff, but I kind of cringe a little bit, especially if it's not really all in. If it's like, if the person doesn't invest 100% in like that performance,
right.
If it's kind of half-assed, or like a shy person who doesn't usually perform, I'm kind of like, oh.
I get that. I feel it, but not as intensely. If they deliver the worst performance of their life, as long as they deliver it, I don't care.
That's what I mean. Like, they don't have to be good actors, but they have to invest.
Yeah, as long as they.
Yeah. It can't just be like, that has to be like, so like invested in the thing I'm doing right now, even though they're not like good at it. It's like they're into it, and that doesn't take me out, doesn't make me like as much.
My host for Trapped's Project XB13, I forget what it's called. Make sure I start recording. My host for that, he did not have those lines memorized. Or he was nervous.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell, but he stuttered through the whole thing and like couldn't remember the words, but I didn't care because he kept his like major pain voice the whole time. And he was like, recruits, you're doing this. And I was like, yes, I am. It's just one of those like, and then when we got into the room, as I think he was also our game master. I don't know. Tall white boys with dark hair all look the same. But some tall white boy with dark hair was coming over the radio, and he was fully committed to giving us our stuff. There was like a small glitch in the room that he had to come in and fix really quick. Oh. Did it completely in character.
Oh, that's good.
Didn't even bother me one bit.
I freaking hate that.
I hate it. But he came in character, had the perfect excuse, didn't waste any of our time, fixed what needed to be fixed,
how you do
got
it.
Out.
So how do you feel that you try to make things immersive for players?
So
we already have like preset things at Questroom that you have to do, like the different monologues and characters and stuff. So like you're kind of, when you are hired here, we're like, you have to do this, you have to be comfortable doing this, and if you're not, this is not the job for you. And then and so you kind of already have these things to set you up for making it immersive. But what do you think you do?
I personally, one thing that in my training I was told not to do, but I do anyways, is I like to use the pre-recorded hints as little as possible.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the players as well. But because you can give more personalized hints, you're interacting with them. They can sort of tell sometimes if it's pre-recorded or if you're like talking specifically to them. And then you can meet them where they're at. Because some people go into a room and they do not want to talk to Brady until they have escaped. They only want to talk to Bernard.
Yeah.
Right? And so I will 100%, I'll be Bernard. I can only see what Bernard would see. I would never reference anything as a puzzle. I would be like, oh, explore as it seems in my notes. Right? But then some players go in and they want to be in a room, but they want to be in on the joke with me. Like they're like, we know we're not actually trapped in here. So it's meeting them where they're at.
Yeah.
And I found that they always come out more happy that way.
Yeah.
So immersion's more about how immersed they want to be.
Yeah, that's exactly. There you go. So like with an audience, like sometimes if you come at me with your like shtick in the beginning, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I can find that it's a little cheesy and cringy if it's not done really well, and like it depends on my mood, and it also depends on like what the story and room is. But I've had it before where I was excited and then I went into the room and the room was not immersive, and I was like, oh man, like he may be so excited, but like that's not the game master's fault. That means the game master is good and the room's not as good. But I want to say something about your not playing the pre-recorded hints that we have. And I'm working on our new room. New rooms. And specifically the one I'm thinking about right now is called Save Surds. And Save Surds is a family room, like a magical forest, kind of crazy fun adventure room. It's going to be awesome. But basically, we have so many characters, like a lot of characters in there, which is, I'm spoiling shit, but whatever. I'm working on getting the voiceovers for all of those characters. And I just feel like, we're covering as many things as possible. But I don't know. I think that the pre-recorded hints are really good. And I think, if we need more specific ones for like some of the games, like for Bernard, then I'd like to add more of the same instead of game masters saying things unless it's absolutely. But I understand what you're trying to do with the experience and stuff. But for this room, the new one with all these characters and stuff, it's just so fun how different all the voices are. Yeah. Like, and you can hear it's not the same person. Like, they're different people who's recorded these things, and like it's so cool. And like, where'd that like voice come from? And like that voice is like you want it to be. I feel like if there's one character that is a general character that the game master could do, I think that's okay. But some of the other voices, like you couldn't do them. So so in this room, it's like not. I don't think it's gonna be as possible as because all the other rooms only have one kind of voice, right? And this one will allow for that, which I'm kind of excited about because the owner of the escape room does not want people to talk into the mic unless they absolutely have to, because we have pre-recorded hints made by actors. Some of them not so good, but yeah, I do sometimes too, and I think it really, like you say, depends on the group, because they do appreciate that you're like mentioning their something specific about them and like reacting to something they're saying, or like saying something very, very specific. And that does help with immersion if you're in character, which we always are here. So
yeah, I think when it comes to improvising clues, coming over in character over the mic, I always do it more heavily in Cannibal's Den and Amnesia, specifically because Cannibals and Amnesia have an excuse for the hint giver to be mean.
Yeah.
And you can personalize insults, and they love it. Because if you have a mean duck or Jenny who's just really cranky.
She's a B word.
If you have these people, and then our generalized hints, the duck is mean. But Jenny's hints are kind of sad. So, like, I want Jenny to be meaner sometimes.
Yeah, she used to be, but then we added new hints.
Right. So it's just one of those
some old ones, and she's less mean. She's just annoying now. I'm like, it was funny when she was like, look harder, or like
Rude Jenny predates me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah.
But then there's one of my favorite, I'll come over and like Red Giant. If it's little stuff like explores, it seems you've walked just past it, like more directional stuff is when I'll come over. Because you can then, I think it's just the sass, like there's just an amount of sass that people love. I love. Maybe it's just
if
me.
the group is right for it and you want to do it because they'll respond positively, it's really fun. And I get that. I'm a little torn about it, but as long as the game master is in character voice. I cannot tell you how annoyed I was when I played a game called One Way Ticket or something.
Sounds right. I've heard of
One Way Ticket or something with Mazerooms, and it was like a train game, and I really enjoyed that game. Actually, it was pretty immersive, and it was like a 20s theme, and we all came dressed for the room.
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, we were all game masters from Question. We went to Mazerooms, we dressed up, and then when we went into the room, we all talked like that. Like we had like the accents and everything. Like we were so into it. We had the best time. And then we had to, we were given walkies. And so when we were like, we have to ask, and we're like, let's ask like for a hint, like we're blah blah blah. We said it in accents and stuff, and then we're like, hello sir, can you help us? And he was like, yeah guys, so what you have to do, I was like, whoa, are you like, dude,
who's this?
who are you, sir? I need to talk to like the conductor or something. It was like, I don't, it made me so annoyed. I'm like, dudes, can't you come on.
It's like, read the room.
Even if you're in like, if you had like a bad day as a game master, you're tired, all that stuff, and then a group comes in and they're dressed up in costume and they're talking and like pretending.
Yeah.
Come on.
You can't be
You
committed.
can't do the accent. Like, do some sort of character.
That's disappointing.
That is so disappointing. And I'm like, no. And so, yeah, game masters can sort of make or break things.
They really can. Because no matter how immersive the room is, if the game master doesn't add to the immersion, they automatically take away from it.
Definitely.
There's no way to be neutral unless you have the written ones. Like, the written hints.
Yeah.
Like, we in Party Hard have our written hints. Though we still take it an extra step further.
Yeah.
Because the room's
the cool thing about Party Hard is that you're texting, like, the hint system in Party Hard is you have a phone and your friends are texting you. My bangs look terrible. Your friends are texting you and you use that, they give you hints. Some of them are pre-made, so they have photos and hints and stuff. But some of them are like you are texting them on a computer in the ops room, and they get that message, and you can just say silly shit.
My favorite part, you can change the name of who's texting.
Oh, really?
And so the default everyone uses is Hugh Jazz.
Oh yeah.
So it sounds like Hugh Jazz. You can bleep that out.
I just got that. God.
But when I started doing it, I only ever used Hugh Jadong. So it said huge dong. And I felt was the funniest thing ever.
It is funny.
And only twice did anyone ever look at the phone and be like, oh, we're getting a text from huge dong. But those moments made my day.
That is so funny.
And then there's a voice you have to have when texting.
Yeah.
I mean, like a rhetorical, like a verbiage you have to have when you're texting as huge dong.
So also, just to give it some context, the room is like a Vegas hotel room, and it's like a hangover themed room. So when you get the text messages from the phone, you're like, you've just woken up after a crazy night at a bachelor party, and your friends are like gone, and you're trying to figure out what happened to the groom or the bride or whatever you are looking for, and then so your douchey friends kind of are texting you.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
your
funny.
douchey friends who are not going to help you.
Yeah.
But they're not going to hinder you.
Yeah, so when we're the game masters, we get to text us the douchey friends and be like, lol, and like, or lol, like, oh my god.
My favorite thing to do as huge dong was if I had the chance to give the team extra time, I always had the same excuse, and it was always like, florist got caught in traffic, or I stole the wedding dress. It was just stuff like, the bride's delayed, you've got extra time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just more fun. And I feel like if I'm having fun game mastering, they're more likely to have fun playing.
Yeah.
And you can just feel it when you're playing and the game masters just working their shift.
Yeah.
The energy's just like...
See, so as a manager then, like I'm an employer, and then I make it a point to want to only hire people who want to work here. So, it's a minimum wage job most of the time for like general game masters. But there's a bunch of minimum jobs out there, and not all of them are as fun as this. But this isn't fun for everyone either. So I want to find people who do think this is fun, and so that part of the interview is kind of figuring out what kind of person they are. Will they fit in with everybody? Like, are they interested? Are they going to be okay performing and like do all the weird random stuff you do as a game master?
Yeah.
And only hire people who want to do this, because you don't make a bunch of money. Like, you don't get tipped, even though we should. Okay, tip your game master. They are hustling and doing their best. Like, I feel like servers at restaurants are very entitled a lot of the time, and the busters are doing a lot of the work, and so are the hosts and the runners and all those people. Like the server just comes and like, hey, can I take your order? And like, is everything okay? Like, I don't know.
Does Rick listen to these?
Yes, but he agrees with me.
She's calling you out, Rick.
He agrees. But here, like, my game masters work their asses off to really make it immersive and fun for you. And they clean. There's a lot of hard work.
I've also seen, working here, I've seen a game master who is not good at the job, but loves it. And they, every time, outperform someone who is really good at the job, but does not give a crap.
Yeah.
Because I've seen both.
Yeah.
And I've seen them work together. And it is the most, flooring thing to see the person who is not a great performer, who is super uncomfortable with groups, who is just excited to be there, just plow past someone who's a natural performer who can make you believe anything you want. It doesn't really feel like being here.
Can't be bothered today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and that's really true. And that is more important to me than being an amazing performer.
Right.
Because like I said before, if the person invests in their like little monologue, then it's fun. Like, and most people really get into it. And so I think it's like I said, with restaurant jobs, you'll make a lot more money serving tables.
I feel
but
this is just for me. How I would rate a room 1 to 10. I would split it into 2, right? So you can earn 7 points based solely on the room, the story, the mechanics, right? So how good the room is. But even if all of that is perfect and you have a cruddy game master who's not committed to the story or the hints, then you only get 7. Right? The last 3 points are earned by the game master, in my opinion.
You know what?
So even if you have literally the worst room, if the room is literally just a bunch of Sudoku puzzles in your garage, which that's a different story for a different day. If the whole escape room is paper Sudoku puzzles in your garage, but you game master the hell out of those Sudoku puzzles, you still get a 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you still get points, right? Like, but you cannot have a perfect room if you're not going to have a committed game master.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Escapology, in my eyes, please don't sue me, will never have a perfect 10 because they do not have game masters give you hints verbally. There's no way for that to increase your immersion.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just neutral. They'll get like 1 or 2 points, but they'll never get all 3.
Yeah.
So even if they have the perfect room, Scooby Doo, loved it. I'm a Scooby Doo fan, even though there was a whole list of talking about. Great. So Scooby Doo, 6.5 out of 7 on the room itself. The hints that they gave, they had some voiceover stuff, which was super fun. Not the game masters, but like characters.
Yeah.
So that gives them 1 point. And then what they typed in was immersive, like it was very in character and stuff. Yeah. But that still leaves us with just 8.5 points. Like they can't get that final point from me. Because like I need the game master to be as invested in this room as I am.
Yeah, I heard, I went up the street to a neighboring escape room, I'm not going to say, but I talked to a game master there, and because I was like, God, it's slow right now. Is it slow over there? And they were like, yeah, it's dead. I was like, okay, good.
Yeah.
And she was really nice, but she told me that a game master will game master 3 to 4 games. They'll sit there with the screens all on. They don't have headphones. They have speakers. And they'll turn up the speaker for a separate room. They'll be like, oh, I think something's happening there. I'm going to turn up the speaker. And then hear them, what they're saying. And then, oh, Graham, look at him. And then turn it down again. So they're not even listening to what's going on. And they're like watching the screens. And I'm like, maybe that's the basics of what game masters used to do. But with us, it's like, you're watching, like, we have like 1 person per game ideally. Yeah. Because first of all, we're watching that they're not breaking the rules or breaking our stuff. But second of all, we're there to like help them and make it fun for them and like be invested in their game and then host them out and be like, that was awesome. You killed it with this puzzle. And like, that was amazing. And like, oh, don't worry about that. That's really hard.
If you would have listened to Susan sooner, you would have got through there.
Exactly. They love that stuff. So it was just shocking to me that like, you
Plus,
know, they're game
how do they
masters,
prevent like I can't
I know.
stand going to a room, asking for a hint, and then like
They don't know what's going on.
and they tell you what you already know.
I know. Or they say, oh, you need to do this. We're like, yeah, we did that like 5 minutes ago.
Tried it already.
But yeah, it's weird. But I mean, that's not the game master's fault per se. That's how it's set up. That's, you know, they haven't been trained to do it that way. So.
Do you know one of the rooms that using my scale that I just invented, we're going to call it the Brady Escape Room Scale.
Brady Escape Room Scale, officially.
Yeah, BES. Just BS for short. The BS is the 7 points and then the 3 points. I think one of the only 10s I've done, excluding places I've worked, because that's unfair.
Yeah, you're right.
One of the only 10s, I've only done a couple, was 60 outs. You know exactly which one I'm thinking of. No, I played it with Kelly.
Jezebel.
Miss Jezebel.
Really?
Yes.
Because what I heard from you guys was that...
The puzzles were not hard.
Yeah.
But the puzzles were not what the room was about. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's like the immersive theater experience with puzzles?
It was much more immersive theater. Mm-hmm. If it were just the puzzles, the room would have taken 20 minutes max.
People love Miss Jezebel.
It's so
good.
But
I've heard mixed reviews too.
But
they're doing like a virtual version of it that's like been really popular, but I don't think it could be the same. Yeah.
There's something about Miss Jezebel putting a leash around your neck that cannot be done online. Sorry if that spoils anything.
Is it problematic?
Huh?
Is it a problematic room?
No. You would think so.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
The first thing they say before you go in is Miss Jezebel will always get your permission for anything. We expect you to treat her with the same respect.
But is it like...
No, because she always makes sure it's what's so good about the room is this is the most just degrading woman you've ever met, but she at no point makes you feel unsafe.
But it's a man dressed as a woman though.
Only sometimes. I had a female game master. Yeah, I loved her. She was great.
Interesting.
She's fantastic.
Because I thought it was almost like a drag
The
thing.
creator, his name is Patrick, I believe. Shout out to Patrick.
Yo, Patrick.
He was actually my host that day. He hosted in the room, and he told us all about it, how he helped write the script. He was the original Miss Jezebel, but they hired 2 other actresses to take over Miss Jezebel's role.
Because I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't know, like...
I feel like
what the deal was with that.
It could be offensive.
Pictures, it all looks like a man dressed as a woman, which is like used to be considered like really funny back in the day.
So it's still funny.
Still drag shows.
Drag queens are still a thing. Mm-hmm. I think.
So I didn't know if it was like what the deal was.
The line is when your jokes are at the expense of a woman being dressed as a man.
Yeah.
Which that's when you start to like tread into transphobic territory.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing inherently funny about a man dressed as Miss Jezebel. But Miss Jezebel herself is hilarious.
Exactly. And then I love that idea that a woman and a man can play the character.
Yeah. And
that's awesome.
I did not feel like I missed out on anything with Miss Jezebel as a woman.
Yeah.
I think the appeal of drag queens historically is that they can be raunchy because it's already a taboo thing. But yeah. Now a woman can inherently be raunchy without it being taboo. So it's not.
I feel like it's an art form in itself. It's like a different separate thing. But I just didn't know if it was like. Yeah, I didn't know if it was proper or if
they
it was
are
like
treading.
I don't know, but that's
the
awesome.
line. But they are treading
it carefully.
Very carefully.
That's good.
But
that was an immersive experience too, right?
Yeah. Follow me for more Game Master ratings.
Follow you where?
We have a link tree. Follow our YouTube channel. I'm not independent of Escape, Reset, Reload. I've signed a contract. They own me personally. They own me.
That's right.
We own me.
But yeah, also, next episode, we are hopefully going to have a guest. Yeah, I know we've said that a few times now, but it's gonna happen eventually.
Is it a surprise?
It's a surprise, I think.
It's a surprise
so
guest.
Let's not promise anything because things can happen because it's happened before. But
It's a surprise guest because it'll be a surprise to us.
yeah, because
Who knows?
so we have a fair few people who want to come on, but scheduling and things like that. So, but yeah, next time we will bring hopefully a guest, and that will be fun.
Yeah.
And we are also looking into facilitating a audio only escape experience room immersive theater thing on Clubhouse, which is, I've discussed this app before, but it's an audio only app, and there's an escape room club on Clubhouse.
You started an escape room club?
That's
it's
right.
official now?
It's official. It's an official club, so please come and join it. And we have like clubs and talks where we talk about escape rooms and get to know each other in the industry. There's a lot of interesting people on there. Come and join us. And then we will try to do some escape experiences on there. But yeah, we have a bunch of things that we need to test that people are wanting us to test, that we've promised to test. And then we will get back to you about those things and promote them and do giveaways and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We just have to catch up on some work. So
Yes, yeah, because it's been like a month since we did the last one.
Yeah, I've played some stuff since too, but it was a click and play. What do you call it? Like a thingy game, and I don't think it's suitable for immersion, so I can talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, seems good. I feel like we covered a lot. I talked a lot. I felt like
Yeah.
you were interviewing me a lot.
I was a little bit because I was just interested in your trip and stuff. But yeah, so follow us. It's Escapers at Reload everywhere. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Clubhouse, we're on YouTube. Thanks for those who are listening. Thank you for those who are watching. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
I'll be here. She will too.
What? Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We'll be right here. We'll be waiting here until the next episode.
Yeah. Same outfits. Okay.
Oh, wait, no. Last thing.
One more thing.
Why are you wearing your hat?
I'm wearing my hat because it's cold outside.
Okay. But you should take it off.
Okay, I guess I'll take my hat.
Oh my god!
Wow. Yes, I can hear myself so much better now.
Oh, dude.
I dyed my hair bright orange. Y'all met me with my bleach blonde hair. I've got brown hair, as you can tell from my eyebrows. But I told my grandfather that he went bald around 25.
Mm-hmm.
I am following quickly in his footsteps.
So you're gonna have fun while you have it.
Yeah, I've got 2-3 more years tops. So I'm just gonna do what I can while I can.
Cool. All right, that's it for today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.